haven't done this in past, but today I will be reacting to Jokesta's top 10 list for BR. It will be a long in-depth video, so stick till the end. We start with Macton and Fennec, and both of these got nerfed this season and are exclusive for Hipfire only. Why range boosting is important now? Because BR Hipfire isn't like multiplayer where it is usually 5 to 6 meters. Hipfire spread is boosted in BR and we can sometimes even Hipfire 20 meters. Why builds now need to take care of range as well instead of only boosting mobility. Macton has a straightforward Hipfire build, and I had it recommended in my previous BR video, but changed it this season. First is the 2 attachment slots we use for sprints to fire, which does not allow versatility in attachments, as one slot gets used for barrel, one for laser, and another one for mag, and instead of using mobility attachment or perk, we use both the remaining slots for sprints to fire. Our sprints to fire goes from 12 frames base to 9 frames with these 2 attachments, which is similar to Fennec but with only one attachment, the laser, and we still have option of using stipple to make it even faster. Why with other guns like PPSH or CBR4, which are the meta now and can have faster sprints to fire, Macton can make a difference over them by making a mobility build. Thus the first change I had done is using striker foregrip to have better movement, and one sprints to fire attachment does not do much, as making a habit of starting fights with a slide makes it a more mobile target and neutralizes the sprints to fire differences between guns. Why for last attachment I use suppressor, as barrel makes recall worse, which is made better with suppressor, so the build is easy to use and we also get sound suppression. Good thing about sound suppression is a good player usually reacts to sounds like bats have echolocation, and in Alcatraz, which is what I like playing, I can hear sounds from the cell house, the power generation building. Why using suppressor only denotes an icon on the minimap to show the general direction of the attack, but it makes it harder to spot enemies, and you can also do some pretty good clutches using the stealth aspect to advantage. It is more useful for snipers and long range assault rifles, but close quarter guns can also make use of it. Why the recall and sound suppression combo is what I use from Macton, and this is tried and tested build. It works well. I usually give multiple builds, and as usual I would give option for perk, stock, or some other attachment, but for starting build this is good, and then we can make our personal changes either way. Like some may use the range boosting barrel to have better ranges now since the ranges got nerfed, or some may use the range barrel to have controllable recall, and these changes would be within reason to do so. Fennec has a similar story. We used to build mobility and hipfire in previous season like I had shown in my previous videos, but this season we need to range boost via change to the barrel, and this is a good build, although with my usual style I would recommend options like operator grip because people still find recall hard to manage, or stippled because no stock makes recall worse and we get 7 frame sprints to fire with stippled, which is like CBR4, which is the current meta in BR. Thus this is also a good build for a start, and if you can manage the recall then use no stock for mobility, else some perk like sleight of hand is also usable, and so on. We need to understand one thing: when it comes to good builds and bad builds, objectively they are in a spectrum. There isn't only one good build or one way to build a gunsmith, and people can have preferences too. Why what is good for one may not be good for another. Why the importance of starting with a base build and then doing necessary changes to it as we please. Back on topic, Rytek and 9 was a surprise for me too, as personally anything other than M21 EBR is pointless to use right now, and M21 is a ground loot too, which makes it very accessible, and if not EBR then SVD can be used as alternative. But Rytek has a very unique kit. It can do similar thing like the NF45 with explosive mag or the Kilo with the thermite mag, and the fire is also fast, so if using base mag it can be used for fast spamming, but 5 bullets constricts our potential, while M21 is superior weapon in comparison. Snipers till a certain range can one-shot headshot, while usually people stack range attachments. Are not using marksman here cause the debuffs are very punishing, and then something for stability, and for spam weapons we would want lower recall and mag is the pending option. This is pretty standard process that we have been doing for guns like Arctic ever since the custom weapons got introduced, but Rytek with thermite mag has infinite one-shot headshot at any range, which makes it lethal at long range fights, and if you're someone like me who challenges snipers with assault rifles, then flinch is very punishing on them. Why the need for using stability attachments, and compensator is unique to Rytek and helps with the second shot shot kill and spamming while we use it, else suppressor is also usable. And now a disable buff for snipers, final slot being used for it allows easier time to land the second shot, and rubberize isn't needed because we are using compensator either way, else suppressor and rubberize would have been used. I myself use thermite mag as main because the 2-shot kills are pretty consistent and guaranteed, and thermite also has splash damage to flush out enemies behind objects. Explosive mag can also do a similar thing, and I have it on my second build in case there's a tank in the zone and I don't have FHJ, so I can use the right tick to take out the tank, but against normal enemies thermite has the advantage why it takes precedence over the explosive mag. Again, good build, slight changes will be preference like suppressor or sleight of hand etc. 8th is M16, and M16 is crazy good right now. I have been using it pretty frequently this season and it has not disappointed. Need to adjust to the burst playstyle, else it's a consistent 3 burst at all ranges, and it can even challenge snipers at range, although I wouldn't recommend it. Play it like a super accurate assault rifle where you only need to point and shoot, and carry another weapon for close range. Builds need to focus on recall as the third bullet bounces high while minimize it, although COD Mobile should buff M16 recall, so with 3 recall attachments the third bullet is near to the second bullet and we can call it a beam literally. You should definitely try M16 this season, and the build is good too. Nothing much to say about the Holger, cracked for over 1 year now and it's still my favorite support weapon alongside the PKM. Build is good, just BSA focus build, and disable because disable is still good on LMG. Remove suppression for optic if needed, I'd use the 3x scope personally. CBR4 is next, pretty standard build. This is for versatility because we have hipfire while still maintaining range and mobility. Good for support SMG, something to use in close range when we have either sniper, LMG or ranged assault rifle as the second weapon. I would have wanted sound suppression, but we don't have any alternate attachments to swap it out. And we can change the sleight of hand to something else. Otherwise, this is also a good build. Not at all surprised to see PPSH because it is a hidden gem for skilled players. I have been using it extensively since it got released, and it has the tightest hipfire of any gun right now with attachment. We can out hipfire other guns easily at ranges we wouldn't usually normally hipfire, and the large mag plus extended mod can give us LMG like mag to do 1 versus 4s without reloading. The sprint to radius is kind of slow while we usually make hipfire build, and the hipfire is also really tight on it. This is what I have been using for a long time now, still hasn't failed me. King of Alcatraz if you ask me, just hipfire and if necessary ADS at long ranges, and we can still have good sprays. Other build is with flash card and final attachment is preference, but we don't get sound suppression that way. 35 mag is usable, but I don't recommend it as the large mag size is an advantage. And the other is hybrid build like the CBR4, which I tried and it worked well, but the crazy hipfire build simply has a different feel to it. The only criticism to the build is the mobility debuff of tough foregrip, which wasn't an issue because the improved accuracy makes it up for it, but we can always use the 35 mag to make up for it. And I did give the flash guard build as well for those who prefer it that way. However, for an overall build, this is a great start. Jack 12 is another great gun for hipfire. Good build too, although for perks some may use the sleight of hand. Disable works well because it has pellet spread system where a single pellet can slow the enemy movement, why it makes getting hipfire kills easier. And for close range it is quite consistent too. Similar utility is Echo with similar builds, so it is worth trying it out. AK-47 is king of assault rifles right now. The range buff made it so we can use the 545 mag. I had mentioned not to use 545 last season, but this season it is better, and BSA is usually an issue at range, while group grip and other attachments are standard. If not using optic, then some use the stock, but it gave diminishing returns at range in my testing cause the limiting factor was bullet speed, not BSA. While a perk like sleight of hand is usable cause 545 mag has only 40 bullets, else attachment choices are limited. Range boosting like previous is inefficient, so this is the best build to use right now. HS0405 has been the best shotgun for a long time now. The same old build is getting used even now. And finally, EBR. This is the best sniper in the game right now, and we should pair it up with a versatile gun like CBR4 or PPSH. I have used AK-47 aggressive build too with success, so worth a try. Build till last season used barrel, but with disable buff we switched to it now. It is consistent 3-4 shot, and disable helps hit our shots at range, why it is worth using. Some people question why using light suppressor. It is cause range boosting is pointless. EBR is either a 3-shot kill or a 4-shot kill with kinetic armor. Why range boosting does not matter, and using mono is hurting the build. Rest is standard, and this is a good build to use. Else the previous build with the barrel is still usable. And that is the top 10 list. Hopefully the explanation adds clarity as to why certain attachments got chosen for certain builds and the other alternative attachments that we can use. BR got a lot of changes this season, while previous meta like Killer M13 did not get a mention in top 10, although they are still usable but not that effective, especially at range. Don't forget to leave a like, comment something nice, and share the video to your friends to help support it. And bye.